So I hook up my scan tool, and this is a cheapie. Not the cheapest of the cheap, but one of the less expensive ones on Amazon. It's a C reader. My key's on, it's plugged in. Just gonna diagnose. Does the job. You know, I just need it for code reading and clearing codes. I don't need fuel trends and all that other stuff. If something was that wrong with the car, I would just have a mechanic do it. I'm a mechanic by hobby. I do it for fun. But analytical data is not my strong suit. I'm a nuts and bolts guy, so if I can hook a pressure gauge up and figure out something, that's what I do. But as far as reading trends and leans and riches, leave that up to the professionals. But if you got the money, hell, spend it. Why do this yourself? Okay, 457 evap. Like I said, I changed the fuel pump and I broke a plastic nipple off. And then I jerry-rigged a tubing to go back to it and it fell off. So I'll get to that. Let's go down. All right, more evap, more evap. It's all the same. Now, that's the one that scares me. The random misfire should have only popped up if I had misfires in multiple cylinders, which I very well could still have. But that's the one that's the problem. So it's 307, and then we're back to the beginning. So 307 I'm comfortable with because I can work on cylinder 7. The generic one, I'm hoping that it just popped up because 7 was misfiring, and then maybe another one misfired once or twice. So we're going to work on 7 and see if it clears both. Okay, here we are with the RAM, with the random misfire, and P0300, which tells me I have a problem in cylinder 7. Did a vacuum test. I'd show you that, but I already did it. I could redo it. But they're on YouTube. Vacuum test because the Rams, this is an 08, supposedly this year has bad valve springs. If a cracked valve spring was the issue, my vacuum gauge would have fluctuated. My vacuum gauge read perfectly normal driving conditions. At idle, the truck does not bog like a lot of people will say it'll run rough. My truck does not run rough. My issue is when I give it a little bit of a load, my check engine light will start to flash at me. Now I have a lot of codes, my check engine light is on, but it's mostly for fuel stuff because when I changed my fuel pump in this, I broke a plastic piece off and now I have an evap leak. But the other codes I'm showing are random misfire and 307, which is a problem in cylinder 7, which is all the way in the back. So to diagnose, first thing I need to do was do the vacuum test to see if it's a valve spring. It's not a valve spring. My next test is to find out if there's a problem with number 7's coil pack. So you take your 10mm socket and wrench, and this has been done. There's a lot of videos on this. You take your 10mm, there's 2 bolts. It's way in the back there, so get ready. And I used a small ratchet with a small socket to get that one. And then instead of fighting with the one next to it, I just took the easy one to get off cylinder 1 here. And I'm gonna put 1's pack in 7, and I'm gonna put 7's pack in 1. We're gonna reset the codes and see if I get P0301. If I get P301, I'll be a happy boy because that means I got a bad coil pack and we're done. If I don't get 301 and it shows up 7, that means I either have an injector problem, a spark plug problem, a compression problem, or my worst case scenario is the lifter is shot and I've worn out the cam lobe and the valve is not opening anymore or not opening as far as it should. That would be the bad news. If that is the news, I may do a video series on taking the head off and replacing the cam and the lifter, which would be fun, and I do love my truck. It's an 06. I said 08 before. It's an 06, but I love my truck. The inside is the mega cab. It's just beautiful. So we're gonna get to work with changing. We're gonna flip them around. I do have the MDS ignition, which is something over. There's no spark plug wires. And that's the difference. So the pack is right there, and it leads to the two spark plugs. I have 2 spark plugs per cylinder, 16 total. So let's swap the things. I'll show you how I reset the codes, and we'll see if the code 301 pops up. Oh, please, 301 pop up. It's pending, so maybe this pending one will do the cylinder. This second one. Back. All right, another drive cycle. Jeez. So here we are. I got a lot of codes. Like I said, there's a lot of evap stuff. All right, let's erase the codes. Well, if you want to see them. Good. So codes are cleared. We're gonna turn the truck off, and you can hear it. It runs excellent. Well, you might be able to hear it. It's not running poorly. It's not running rough. It doesn't sputter. It's got a great idle, and even when I give it gas, this thing moves. The problem is the check engine light is flashing. And when it's flashing, they call it a type A misfire, which is something that needs to be looked at and addressed immediately. Some people even say pull over and have it towed. I guess you could. I mean, if I had an actual valve spring problem, then I could severely damage the head. If I wanted to preserve everything, I technically should shut the truck off and get it looked at. But, you know, if I had a problem where I have to take the head off, I have to take the head off. I can't really afford a new truck right now. I definitely can't pay someone to do it. And I've done a head gasket before. It's just time consuming. It's really not that hard. Alright, anywho, let's let it run for a little while. Check it. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, the truth. 3 days later, 60 more miles of driving cycles, and you can't see a damn thing. Okay, the moment of truth. 60 more miles of driving cycles. Finally got. Let's see what we got. 300. 301. 301, baby. I have a bad coil pack. I cannot believe it. The code went from 7 to 1. I don't believe it. This never happens to me. This engine is ticking away like a champ. So we're going to change the coil pack and see if the random misfire goes away too. Very, very excited. Very, very excited. 301. I cannot believe the code moved with the cylinder. I cannot believe it's the coil pack. We're going to change that straight away. And because I changed number 1 for 7, now it'd be easy to get off. Awesome.